Hey everybody out there, this is Seto, and today for you guys, I'll be profiling for you my Red Eyes Black Dragon deck. This is a deck that I've been wanting to profile for you guys for quite some time now. I know a lot of you guys have also asked me to profile this deck, and when is it going to come out? But I originally was going to profile it after Beast Eyes Pendulum Dragon came out back in November, I think it was. And then right when I was about to profile it, I heard that Retro Dragon was coming out of Bosch, which really helped the deck out a ton. And I said, oh, well, I'll wait for Retro Dragon to come out. Well, that's a couple more weeks down the road. And then I had to do some more testing, practice it, make the deck, hone the deck, build it to my playing style again. Pretty much revamp the deck and just trying to find the good enough card ratios of each of the cards. And then after that, I decided to put it off to this exact date. The main reason I put it off doing this deck profile to this exact date was to celebrate my third year of being on YouTube doing Yu-Gi-Oh videos. Yes, 3 years ago I did my first Yu-Gi-Oh upload video, and after that, a couple of days later, I started uploading more consistently, doing 3 to 4 videos a week, and ever since then, for 3 years now, I've been doing this now, I guess you could say, and I just wanted to do this deck as a celebration to that, and hopefully we do this for many more years to come and to go, and hopefully everything keeps clicking and doing the way we do. You know, I've been doing it, and I'm glad people enjoy the channel, enjoy the content that I put out, so I'm glad everybody enjoys it. So here's to 3 more years, and hopefully many, many more after that, and hopefully Yu-Gi-Oh keeps evolving and changing and being a good game. For the most part, that is. So without further ado, guys, let's get into this deck, and I have to say that I'm so happy that Konami's done more retro decks lately. I mean, even though they're not competitive, I'm just happy they've been doing things like Dark Magician, Red Eyes, Buster Blader, BLS, you know, Blue Eyes. I'm just happy they're doing things like this. Even though they're not super competitive, it's so nice to play with a deck and have just a good build of it. So first off, let's go with our 3 on our beautiful Red Eyes Flare Metal Dragon playmat. We'll be doing the deck profile now. So first off, guys, we have our 3 Red Eyes Black Dragon. He's your 24 attack vanilla monster. Originally I used to run him as a 2-of in the deck, but after playtesting and using Dragon Shrine and seeing different builds and playtesting it, I now currently run 3 of this card. It's easy to reborn. He helps you go for synchro exceed plays and fusion plays. I keep saying I want to say synchros, but I don't mean synchros. But fusions and level 7 exceeds, especially like things like Big Eye, Dragosack, and Red Eyes Flare Metal Dragon, which is amazing to go into. That's the Ghost Rare, by the way. But yes, 3 Red Eyes Black Dragon. The original ones I got out of the, I guess you say me and my brother got these out of the, what was it, the original Joey Structure deck. Then I run 2 of the Gemini ones, Red Eyes Black Flare Dragon. I've seen some people run 3 and 3 of each. The vanilla I find is more useful because I can bring it back with Silver's Cry. I can bring it back with Daigusto Emerald, which is a thing. You can bring it also back by Red Eyes. What is that trap card off the top of my head? I can't remember it. But excuse me, Return of the Red Eyes. You can bring it back by that. The vanilla one I'm talking about right now. So I find this one's a little bit better. You can use it for the fusion as well. Well, this one is okay. It's good. It's decent. But I wouldn't run it as a 3-of. I prefer it as a 2-of compared to the Red Eyes vanilla one, which you can use for multiple things. So yes, very good card still, but we run it as a 2-of in the deck. Red Eyes Dragon, Flare Dragon. Then I run 3 Red Eyes Retro Dragon. This card was sorely needed in the deck. I replaced Red Wyvern in the deck. I took that out because this thing is so superior to that. Granted, I have thought about adding Red Eyes Wyvern back into the deck. That's the old one from back in the GX era, the one I'm mentioning right now. But this one I find is much better. It's... How can I describe this? I'll read over the card text so you understand this card, and we can talk about its applications. If a level 7 or lower Red Eyes monster you control except Red Eyes Black Dragon is destroyed by your opponent's attack or card effect and sent to the graveyard, you can special summon this card from your hand in defense position, and if you do, special summon as many of those destroyed monsters as possible in the same position they were when they were destroyed. You contribute this card. You can normal summon 1 Red Eyes monster during your main phase. This turn, except Red Eyes Black Dragon Chick, so the one that nobody likes, in addition to your normal summon / set. You can only gain the effect once per turn. So pretty much it's kind of like a mini hand trap for the deck, as well as a Monster Reborn, as well as a Tribute Fodder, as well as a pretty decent beat stick as a 17 beat stick it can put in work. It's a good card. It is so good in the deck. It really gave the deck that little bit of an edge it needed, something that was missing, that qu'est-ce que c'est, I guess you'd say that flavor it needed, that little kick it needed, that little spice. That's what Retro Dragon did, and this card's very good. I wouldn't say it's broken, but I would say it's very solid, and it's a very good card. It's a hand trap. If your Red Eyes gets destroyed, you can reborn it, bring this guy out, do combo plays out the wazoo. Really good card. Definitely a staple as a 3 of in the deck. I've seen people run it as a 2 of, but I prefer 3. Next, I run 2 the Blackstone of Legend. Some people can like running this as a 3 of still, and I understand. I originally used to run it as a 3 of, but with Retro Dragon out, I prefer this as a 2 of. It's a good card. You can get it sent to your graveyard very easily with Dragon Shrine and some combo plays, because pretty much you can go Dragon Shrine, send a vanilla Red Eyes to the graveyard, so I can send the vanilla one to the graveyard, then send this to the graveyard because I sent a vanilla dragon to the graveyard, activate this card in graveyard, send this back to the deck, add this back to your hand, and then it pretty much can be easily searched out through Dragon Shrine is what I'm pretty much saying, which is very nice overall. And Dragon Shrine can just help set up combo plays overall. Which I'll talk about a little bit later. But yes, it's very easily searchable. It can help bring out your Red Eyes. Very good card. You can constantly reuse it as well. And I found 3 of was getting kind of cloggy as well, so that's why I cut it down from 3 to 2. Next, I run 2 of the Summon Skull. This is the Show and Jump Anniversary artwork, so that's what this Summon Skull is. And then we have the old OG one from Yugi's Structure deck I got. This is one of the original ones I used to use back in the day, which is kind of funny. But yes, 2 Summon Skull. This is for your fusion play. You can bring it back with Daigusto Emerald. You can also bring it back with, what was it called? Return of the Red Eyes. You can actually bring this card back through that, or Daigusto Emerald. So there's other ways you can use it. I thought about adding Soul Charge in the deck, but I decided to cut it out. So that was another way you could use it in the deck if you wanted to go down that route. You can also banish it from your hand with Allure of Darkness, and pitch it for 1/1 fodder. So it's a good card. It's an okay card, but its main use is for the fusion. Otherwise, it's very dead. You don't want to draw this card. If you do draw it, you have some ways to discard it through 1/1, Twin Twister, Allure of Darkness. You can banish it for draw power. So if you draw it, you can just use it for you can just use it for fodder, for Twin Twisters, for clearing back row, for 1/1s, things of this nature is what I'm trying to say. So you have ways of discarding it to get other card effects off. So it's not all that bad, but definitely 2 Summon Skull. You can bring it back from the graveyard as well and go old Summon Skull beatdown if you can reborn it, that is, in some shape or fashion. Next, I run 2 the Black Metal Dragon. This card's pretty good. You can equip it. If it gets destroyed and sent to the graveyard, you get a free search off. Usually, most often, you're going to search out for the Red Eyes Fusion card, because this way you can go for your big fusion play. So also what you can use it with is Kinkubuyo, which is kind of nice. Same thing goes with, I guess you would say, Redstone of Legend, which I'll talk about very quickly, this Kinkubuyo play, because this is the next card I was going to show you guys anyways. So pretty much, Black Metal Dragon is your searcher for the deck. It helps search things out, gives it a little bit of power boost, is really nice. But with Kinkubuyo, it really shines. Because with Kinkubuyo, what you can do is you can go Kinkubuyo, bring this back, equip it to a monster, and then bounce Kinkubuyo back to your hand. Also, you can go Kinkubuyo, bring Black Metal Dragon out, contact fusion into Beast Eyes Pendulum Dragon. So you can go for Beast Eyes Pendulum Dragon here, and then you'll get a search off from Black Metal Dragon because it's gone from the field to the graveyard, and then you can just have a generic 3000 beat stick out in the field, which can come in handy and run over things. And get some burn damage from Kinkubuyo. But yes, really good card in the deck. 3 is something I've seen a lot of players play. It's up to you, but I prefer 2 in the deck. At the end of the day, that is. Next up, like I said, I'll show you some of the 1-ofs I run. the Red Eyes Metal Dragon, the Keeper of the Shrine, and Kinkabuyo. Red Eyes Metal Dragon, you do get out sometimes. You don't get it all out as much as I would like to, but you do get it out, and it can win you games. Keeper of the Shrine's another target for, I guess you could say, Dragon Shrine. It can give you protection, give you, I guess you could say, exceed plays for rank 4s, which does happen because now you have Retro Dragon, and you use that card a lot, so you can do some overlaying, go for Dagusto Emerald, Reborn, Red Eyes, do combo plays, yada yada yada. Really comes in handy. I have used it for Tribute Fodder as well. You do that in the deck, more than you would like to admit, but you do use his effect for tributing. Kinkabuyo, like I said before, can help you go for Beast Eyes Pendulum Dragon, reborn things, equip things. The list goes on and on. You can easily bring out like either the Blackstone of Legend or Red Eyes Black Dragon, and pretty much go for Beast Eyes, have a 3000 beat stick that can run over things, and maybe get a free search off if you use Black Metal Dragon. Though you have to banish him though. So you could run more of this. I used to run 2 Kinkabuyo, but I just like 1 of now. So those are your 1-ofs in the deck. They come out they help out a lot, I find. Next, I run 3 Dragon Shrine. This card is so good in the deck. It's kind of like a mini Rhoda for the deck, I guess you could say. It helps thin your deck out. It can also help you get the Blackstone of Legend from your graveyard to your hand, and thin your deck out as well. And plus, it can help you get Keeper of the Shrine in the graveyard. So if your dragons die, you have some protection. You don't have to, be like, oh my gosh, my dragons died. I'm wide open for an attack. So I definitely like this card as a 3-of. You could run it as a 2-of, but I prefer 3-of in the deck at the end of the day. 3 Keeper of the Shrine. Dragon Shrine. Next, I run 3 cards of the Redstone. You have multiple targets for this, so it's always usually live. I can't think of a time this card was not live in my hand. Very rarely, unless you draw multiples of it, but it's a very good card. You have literally 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 targets for this card, so I definitely like running it as a 3-of in the deck. It definitely comes in handy. The only thing I wish this card said is you could discard a Summon Skull from your hand, not just Red Eyes. Because that would have been so good. Like if it said you can discard a Summon Skull or a Red Eyes from your hand. That would have been so much better. That's like that'd have been so much more better. But whatever. It's still a good card in the deck as a 3-of. Then I run 2 Red Eyes Fusion. Some people like running this as a 3-of because they like seeing it faster. That's up to you as a player to decide if you want to do that. Personally, I just like 2-of in the deck. It's not the be-all, end-all play in the deck. I find that Red Eyes Flare Metal Dragon, the Exceed monster, is a little bit better than the Fusion. The Fusion always seems to be susceptible to back row and whatnot. Though with Twin Twister out now currently in the game, you can pave the way for the Fusion and make it more live. I guess you could say. It's not going to be susceptible to back row as much as it used to be. So I just will mention that very briefly. But I definitely like this as 2-of. 3-of seems a little bit too excessive, but if you want to go down that route, be my guest. Next up, we run 2 Silver's Cry. This is pretty much your Monster Reborn for the deck. Eventually, whenever it does come out to the TCG, probably sometime late this year, the Felgrand Structure deck, I forget what the Reborn card is called in that deck, but it can be used in Blue Eyes, and it also can be used to reborn in Red Eyes as well. But that could maybe replace this card in the end of the day. But this card right now, as of right now, is very good in the deck. It's a quick play spell. It also can help you reborn your Vanillas, go for Exceed plays, so it's very nice in general to have. And you're always sending cards to graveyard, so I find that nowadays it's more alive than it used to be. Next, 2 Twin Twister in the deck. Twin Twister helps pave your way for your fusions, your big monsters. You don't want to worry about back row because in some sense, I guess you could say this deck is kind of a glass cannon. If it runs into maybe a couple of back row, it can be a problem. So the 2 Twin Twister, you want to pave your way for your, to make your plays and whatnot, and not have to worry about Solemn Strikes, Warnings, Bottomlesses, whatever it could be out there. Fiendish Chains, just pave the way for your plays. Next up, we run for your 1-ofs, 1 Regeki, clear the board, attack. 1 Book of Moon, it's a good versatile offensive and defensive card in the deck. 1 for 1 helps you get out different level 1 dragons. So you have your Black Stone Dragon. You have pretty much with 1-for-1 you can get out, let me see here quickly. You can get out these two guys again, which are kind of the heart and soul of the deck to some degree. The Black Stone of Legend and Black Metal Dragon. You can help get these out through 1-for-1. And plus it can also help you discard things like Summon Skull from your hand. Next I run one Allure of Darkness, and this is all of your 1-ofs in the deck. Allure of Darkness, the entire deck is dark. And granted, I don't like banishing my dragons, but the Allure of Darkness is it comes in handy in the deck because it's an all-based dark main deck. So might as well run it because sometimes it can come in handy. And so those are your 4 1-of spell cards I run. You could run Soul Charge in the deck if you really wanted to, but that's up to you to decide. Next, I run for my one of Return of the Red Eyes. You can run multiples of these if you really wanted to. Granted, it is a little bit situational, but at the end of the day, I do like it as a 1-of in the deck. It comes in handy so many times that I really do enjoy it. So definitely a 1-of in the deck. You could run multiples of this, but it's up to you. And I may run multiples in the future. Just saying. Next, for my other traps I run about 6 or 7 traps. 1 Solemn Warning and 2 Solemn Notice, or Solemn Strike, as it's called over here in the TCG. Pretty much I run the Solemn Brigade because it really can come in handy. You know, you make plays, you want to stop your opponent's big pushes, whatever. They're very good staple cards right now in the game, currently. Next, I run some other 1-ofs. 1 Vanity's Emptiness, because you can make a big monster and just flip it with the Vanity's Emptiness and your opponent can't special summon or get around that big monster. 1 Bottomless Trap Hole. And finally, 1 Ring of Destruction. Excuse me. So, one thing is, I'll mention very briefly, is Bottomless Trap Hole just comes in handy. It's a good card. We do run 1 Trap Tricks with Flasia in the extra deck that sometimes I do go into, so it does come in handy in those aspects, but I definitely do like it in the deck. Then we do run the 1 Vanity's Emptiness because it comes in handy, and the 1 Ring of Destruction because you do inflict a lot of damage to your opponent, and Ring of Destruction, you can just ring your own monster and destroy their, pretty much ring your own monster. Yes, you'll take damage, but you'll probably maybe kill your opponent in the process. So it comes in handy. So on to the extra deck very quickly. And briefly I want to mention is something I have been trying out in the deck, but I haven't main decked it because it's kind of iffy, is Dragon's Bind. You could run this card. It came out in Bosch recently. You could try it out in the deck and see how it works for you. But as of right now, I don't like it in the deck. But you could try it out if you wanted to build a different variation of the deck. I would definitely highly suggest looking into the card. On to the extra deck very quickly, guys, because I don't want to run out of time. I run 2 Red Eyes Flare Metal Dragon. Very good card in the deck. You could run this as a 3-of, but I prefer 2. Next, I run for your rank 7s, 1 number 11 Big Eye, 1 Mega Fan Beast Dragosack, and 1 number 74 Master of Keyblades. Yes, I called him Master of Keyblades. Reference there, guys, reference. But yeah, these are your other rank 7s you run besides Red Eyes Metal Flare Dragon. Definitely good cards, especially Big Eye and Dragosack. Then for my fusions, I run 2 Archfiend Black Skull Dragon. Good card. You can sometimes make 1 to 2 of these a duel. And 1 Beast Eyes Pendulum Dragon for your Kinkaboo you play. It's mainly there for a 3000 beat stick that can get around things, but you do sometimes use its little bit of burn damage that you can use with Kinkabuyo, but it's not much. But it really comes in handy in certain situations, especially late in the game when your opponent's used maybe a lot of their resources up. Then I won 1 Dagusto Emerald, 1 Trap Tricks with Flasia. Dagusto Emerald is your main rank 4 you go for because you can bring out the Red Eyes Vanilla one. Trap Tricks with Flasia, Dark Rebellion XYZ Dragon, and Krogamica Luminescent Knight. These are some of your other rank 4s you can run. Krogamica Luminescent Knight really comes in handy though for protection. Then number 101 Castel and number 103 Ragnar Zero. 101 and Castel you mainly go for. Ragnar Zero is just there in case you want to go for it. But I hope you guys all enjoy this deck profile of this deck. It's a very fun deck to play, guys. I really hope you all enjoy the deck profile. Like I said earlier, there's different variations you can run of the deck. The rank 7, a more fusion-esque version of the deck. But either way you run it, I hope you enjoy it. And I hope you enjoy this deck profile. And until next time, guys, take care. Have fun dueling. Good luck dueling. And I'll see you guys next time. Take care, everybody.